there was a 2024 schedule released. I looked at it. I feel probably the same as others. It was very underwhelming. And then there were some moves by NASCAR in the playoffs that I didn't agree with either. I didn't see many that thought this was a good idea in the spirit of competition. But, this is just kind of when I saw the schedule released, I'm like, clearly their objectives and the teams and the drivers' objectives are different. When I looked at it, I'm like, from a corner's perspective, I'm like, holy cow, we got 2 super speedway races and the Clash. We've got to travel here, got to travel there. Just really, really hard on our people. This is really hard on our people. It's really hard on, getting our equipment ready for the start of the season. I know in particular with 2311 moving into a new headquarters in soft season, we're going to be working nonstop, but hopefully the reward is we've got a better place to work. But I looked at kind of the schedule. Obviously, I don't even know that they really put the fans first that much. I mean, putting Atlanta in February.
It's going to be cold, right?
Yeah. Obviously, I guess the rationale that we got from the guy that made the schedule, Ben Kennedy, was that, the Daytona 500 is a type of race. And then we have traditionally
I didn't even think about that. That now you have Daytona followed by Atlanta. 2 super speedways.
Right.
I didn't even think about that part of it.
So you agree with that rationale that the common fan tunes in and is like, wait a minute, this is totally different. So you would rather, you see that aspect of it, I guess is what you're saying.
Yes.
That it works you into the other types of tracks that we're into. It's not full-fledged super speedway racing, but basically is.
Yeah. You're saying you disagree with that.
No, I agree with it.
Oh.
I just think that they're grasping for straws on.
I don't think that matters. Although,
I agree.
Although, if super speedway racing is what attracts the average fan, or maybe someone who doesn't watch NASCAR that much, and you watch the Daytona 500, and you come back the next week and watch a boring race at Phoenix or wherever we typically are, now you're getting to watch probably an exciting race at Atlanta.
Okay.
So maybe that draws you in 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah.
I was thinking about it from like the team owner standpoint. How you said now you're going to go crash your car 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
Go total.
Yeah, and my people too that have to travel out to LA for the Clash, Daytona. It's a little bit better now that we don't go right back to the West Coast, so that part of it is better. But, car count and whatnot. But then just scroll through the middle of the summers, whatever. I'm trying to make sense of this, and you help me make sense of this, because I see this as one way, and I need you two, Travis and Jared, to tell me why I'm crazy in thinking this. Putting Daytona as the last regular season race,
I thought we were all on board.
Was the best thing we have done in a long time with our schedule.
I agree. No, I 100% agree. I thought that was the first thing I saw looking at the schedule, is that Daytona was not last. I was like, wait a minute. I thought we were all in agreement that this is great. The regular season finale finishing in Daytona was one of the best things NASCAR has done.
Yeah. I mean, it just gave everyone, right, 25 races to point your way in. And if you just ain't going to get there on points, you got that one race at the end.
Everyone has a chance.
Try.
Yes.
Right? And then you got the bubble people like, holy shit, I hope someone new doesn't win. And now, I don't know. I just can't make sense of the change of not just moving it out from the regular, but moving it 1 week. I guess what explanation, again, I'm just using Ben Kennedy's media availability here to try to rationale with the thinking of this, is that, well, Labor Day weekend at Darlington, means a lot. Who gives a about that? I don't get it. Like they're putting emphasis on like that people really care about. I'm going to Darlington because it's Labor Day weekend. No, you're going to Darlington because you live in the area and you like NASCAR racing.
Right.
Yeah, I'll say as a new fan,
However,
I don't care that Labor Day and Darlington go to, like, it doesn't bother me as a new fan. I don't give anything about it.
However, can I say this?
Yeah. Or are you going to be devil's advocate? Because I need it. Because
people with normal jobs have off on that following Monday, right?
Okay.
And this race is at 6 o'clock and ends at midnight.
Okay. I see your point. Yeah, I mean, I think about it now. My kids get to go to that race, and I'm wondering, and I usually stay the night after the race because it's so late. And I guess you're right. They don't have school the next day.
And this weekly schedule is kind of up because of the Olympics.
So stupid question. Why not just run it Saturday night then? Why does it have to be Sunday?
Yeah,
it doesn't fall on the same date every year. It's just Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, you could.
Okay.
Does it mess up the Xfinity scheduling?
I don't know. It's just, I scratch my head and I bang my head against the wall sometimes because I think that NASCAR makes decisions to, make a very small crowd that maybe seems loud on social media or something. I don't even know. That ain't this problem. But they just adhere. It was like, yeah, we're going to make changes because our fans want blank. Like, what fans are you hearing or seeing? Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? I know that's a bold question, but it's got that irresistible taste to back it up. Well, when you've got an irresistible match like zero sugar and 0 calories, something sensational is bound to happen. It's like when me and my co-host Jared team up to make a podcast. It's too bad you can't taste with your ears because Coke Zero Sugar tastes so amazing, it's hard to put it into words. But hey, that's my job, at least on Mondays. You have to taste it for yourself. Coke Zero Sugar, the best Coke ever.
Let me throw out another one. Saturday night for NBC would be college football that weekend where the NFL probably hasn't started yet, so they want that Sunday night.
Okay. Well, it has become abundantly clear to me then we have too many races. We're trying to fit this schedule, and it's got to start here, it's got to end there, and we're trying to jam 38 races into what should be 32 at the most. We're never going backwards because NASCAR makes way too much money per week. But it's clear that we have these scheduling problems because we have just too many weeks. Way too many weeks. Right?
I mean, your season is now ending a week later because of that Olympic break.
So we're running from the beginning of... I tell casual people that how long is your season?
Is even shorter.
How long is our season? I usually say from Valentine's Day to the week before Thanksgiving. What? And
that's not accurate.
It used to be. It will be next year.
Nope. It starts the first week of February.
Oh, I know. I meant I thought you were talking about the back end.
Oh.
I know. I've just been hedging on the later side. I tried to give them a point of reference, right? I hate saying February 1st, but
your season starts February 1st. Why don't you just say that?
Because I don't look at the dates, right? I'm just saying, for being in this series for 20 years, I just say it's Valentine's Day to a week before Thanksgiving. That's our schedule. It's like, well, when do you have off? December, because they start us right up with media first week of January. It's just the schedule is just a toll. It takes its toll on everyone. It's taken a toll on my mental health. Clearly, I am unwell when I look at this schedule. I haven't even got into the fact that they added another road course and another super speedway to the playoffs.
For what it's worth, at least it's in the first round, whereas if you win 5 races in this regular season, you're probably going to get through regardless.
I don't know if it's the carbon monoxide that I took in today that is making me feel this way. But I'm just telling you, I don't get it. And it makes me question who's making what decisions when we make these decisions, because they clearly keep pushing the envelope into let's make this as novelty as we possibly can. We will I saw a stat online that says that the winner of the you're going to love this. The Winston Cup was the guy who had the lowest average finish nearly every year except for Mark Martin, and somebody else. So 95% of the time. In the playoff chase format, I hate using chase because that's gone. That was a sprint thing. Is that twice has the best overall competitor through the year actually won the championship. It's all been just someone kind of swooping in at the end.
Yeah, I mean, not to get off.
It's
felt right, more or less, for the last handful of years.
Where was Joey Logano for 20 weeks last year? He won the championship. I bet if I asked you right away who won the championship last year, you'd be like you would scratch your head for a second.
Right. But the way I look at it is if you get to that final race and one of the guys wins, you can justify being the champion, then it's all right. Like the time that was really bad.
I'm not saying there hasn't been deserving champions. That is not what I'm saying at all. Because if you make it to the Final Four, you got a shot. I get it. I'm just saying you have now added more. You are not testing the drivers' skill as Ben continued. We want to test the drivers. That is such baloney. They're testing how good our luck is. Because as we've said a billion times, that when you go to super speedway racing, it's not you that typically messes up. It's someone else, and then it involves you. And that's not your fault. You were doing what you were supposed to do on that day. So I'm just saying when they add this in, it just feels like they're we're really grabbing at storylines. We need to knock some big names out early. That's going to be our storylines. That is not good for the sport. Period. It's not good. I mean, the format nearly knocked out Truex in the first round, nearly knocked them out again, and not nearly. Well, we'll get into that. His car is no longer in the playoffs, by the way. 19 cars out. Truex is in. 19 cars out. That's a chink in the armor that you might hear that story in the Final Four at Phoenix. But I listened to Jeff Gluck do his an emergency podcast on the Teardown about the schedule, and when he went off, when he talked about putting Atlanta as the first race in the playoffs, I mean that 30 seconds to a minute, I share those exact same feelings, and it feels like I must be going crazy because. Am I the only person that sees that they are just continuing to make this gimmicky, more gimmicky, and more gimmicky every single year? We just want to throw all these. I mean, they might as well have us run backwards in a figure eight. You know what? The champion will be whoever's got the biggest balls who doesn't lift in a figure eight race. That'll be our champion. We might as well. What's frustrating, right, is and I say this more as I say this equally as an owner and a driver because I invest a lot of my money back into this sport, and we try to run well, and we try to put fast cars on the racetrack to get results. But when you put these, what are tracks that the drivers, you're not seeing their skill. You're just seeing who comes out of the carnage. That's what they're doing, right? They're not seeing, man, this guy just beat everyone today at Talladega or the Atlanta. No, they just survived the carnage, and then they made the right move at the end. It just seems like NASCAR's objectives and our objectives as a team, my objectives as a driver, to try to be the best I can be at all types of racetracks. There's just an element that you cannot control. Luck is a bigger part of our sport than any other sport by a large margin. And they keep increasing that margin year after year with the decisions they make in the playoffs.